I am learning so much in studying for Genesis. I never in a million years would have thought the depth of Genesis would stir me in so many ways. I have been blown away by the character of God and just so many things that again, I never would have imagined are right there in the very first book of the Bible. One of the things that has just really blown me away are these things called chiasms. Have you ever heard of a chiasm? I had not heard of a chiasm. They're literary structures that writers use to point you to a hidden message, to get you to discover something. So the story can say one thing, and this hidden message will be within for you to discover inside the message. Oh my goodness. I never would have thought the way the writers wrote this would bring to life so many new wonderful things. So chiasms are done in various ways. Mostly you will see them and they create a parallel story or they will create mirrors of each other. For instance, in chapter 1 of Genesis, you have a parallel chiasm. Day 1, which is the creation of light, parallels day 4, which is the creation of the sun and moon. Day 2 is the separation of sky and water, and that parallels with the creation of birds and fish. And then the third day is the day that the land appears, and it parallels with the day animals and mankind is created because we live on the land. You have these 3 days that parallel with 3 days. That is really cool. But the ones that really stick out to me are the mirror chiasms because they kind of sandwich or bookend each other and bring the story in to where right in the middle you find this hidden treasure. For instance, the story of Abraham is a mirror chiasm, the entire story. His story begins with a genealogy, the genealogy of his father, and it ends with a genealogy, the genealogy of his brother. Right after that genealogy, you see the promise from God that he will have a son. And then right above the last genealogy, you see the birth of that son. So you see this parallel coming in and in and in. Well, if you keep reading, there's parallels that match with the story of Lot, then there's other parts where it matches. It's just incredible. But the very center of the story, at the core of the story of Abraham, is the covenant that God comes in and makes. And it's just incredible. There's 2 covenants. There's one where he has the covenant where he comes in and he promises you will be the father of many nations and you will have sons as many as the stars in the sky. And then there's the other covenant with the circumcision, but all of it comes to the very center. So if you took the entire story of Abraham and you folded it in half, the very center of that story is the covenant. The Abrahamic covenant is looked at as a covenant of grace. Why is it a covenant of grace? Because it was based on God's promises rather than human effort. We didn't have to do anything. God did everything. And this shows us it is a precursor. The center of the story, this covenant of grace, is a precursor that points us to, guess what? The story of Jesus, this covenant of grace that we enter with Jesus, the new covenant of grace that is established through Jesus's life, death, burial, and resurrection, which offers us salvation. And we only have that because of grace. Here we have this beautiful picture in the center, at the core of Abraham's story that points us to Jesus. And you want to know what else? The story of all the other patriarchs, Joseph, Jacob, they all do the same thing. They point us to Jesus. Who knew all these were in here? Some of you might be going, I did. I knew it was there. But it is amazing. I want to invite you, if you have not yet registered for Genesis, come join in. They're recorded. You can watch all the videos. You haven't missed a thing. Jump in with us because I want you to see these chiasms with us. I want you to see how the stories unfold. Let's dig together and find the hidden treasure within each of these stories. They are incredible. I want you to see them. I don't want you to miss it because there's so much depth in each of these stories. If you have not registered yet, jump in with us. You will be amazed at all you will find in the book of Genesis.